Hi, this is Tom again on the behalf of Major League Games, coming with another tutorial on how to use contrast paints and what they kind of look like over the different primed colors that I talked about last week. For this video, I took the same miniatures I presented last week with the Stormtrooper to the left primed white, the Space Marine in the middle primed gray, and then lastly the third little Space Marine primed black. The contrast paint I decided to use this time to kind of show this is called Plaguebearer Green, or Plaguebearer Flesh. Put that right back here. And what contrast paints do is they're kind of a thinner paint that does a really good job of getting into nooks and crannies and kind of provides a natural shading effect in most cases. The trick with using contrast paints is that you want to apply it over a more satin textured primer so that way it flows a little bit better. So from you see from the Stormtrooper model that was primed white, it has a really good effect. This is only done with one thin coat of the contrast, just as a heads up. The white paint kind of gives it more of that, sickly greenish yellow color, and did a good job of kind of getting into those crevices really well and really showing that shading effect. The middle Space Marine with the gray kind of loses some of that natural shading, but does provide a lot of really good, like a really cool, almost like a camo green color. And on the black primer is almost non-existent. I mean, it has a slight couple areas and the crevices where it's kind of green, but it just doesn't show. This particular color just doesn't show up very well on black at all. So if you're going to use contrast paints with your own primers, I would go ahead and stick to the lighter tones, such as your white and green, or sorry, gray, that produce a really cool color. Here's a close-up of the gray primed miniature. If I were to go ahead and try to do this with another thin coat, it would probably show up a little, the shading would probably show up just a little bit better on that particular model. So that's something to think about. And then here is the Stormtrooper primed white. So it's really cool to kind of mess around with some of these different primers and contrast paints to kind of see what kind of effect you have. I would definitely kind of stay away from the black though. I've had no success with it at all. With the black prime and then followed by a contrast color. Next video, I do plan on having to show, instead of contrast, the base layer paints over the same color primers. So stay tuned for next week. Thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoyed.